There's our lab. Guys at work. Anyone know that guy? Levi. He seems to be some guy that like everybody knows everywhere. And I sort of Bristol, yeah. So you don't know Levi. Anyway, that's us. It looks a lot more cluttered than this now, and we've got a couple of floors at a warehouse and stuff. But I think the key take home is the people that build synths build them with kid gloves and lab coats, not dungarees and roll-ups, and as it should be for a high technology item. A lot of the electronics that we consume is made in the Far East, and they take it very, very, very seriously. All right, working with Chinese and Asian manufacturers in general, there's a reason that they do the manufacturing, because they do it really goddamn well, and with sort of excellent precision. And we've lost it a little bit in the West. A lot of snobbery here. Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, I thought the whole thing was that Chinese manufacturing was well done, but a little bit cheap components, and you end up with not so good of a build quality as handmade stuff in the...
That was true in the 80s and the early 90s. Yeah. Chinese now make the best stuff in the world, but they make what you ask for and what you pay for. Yeah.
I don't know how relevant this is to your products, but have you been impacted by chip shortages or anything like that?
Oh, it's horrendous. I don't even want to moan about all of the things. Maybe we can do that in the Q&A at the end, but you don't want to open that can of worms without it. Shouting and swearing at all of the different curses we've had, that being one of them. But yeah, we take manufacturing very, very, very bloody seriously. And I don't think that's necessarily always the case with boutique manufacturers or manufacturers in the West who think that somehow, no offense to what you said, but there is an attitude like that that prevails.
They changed the Moog manufacturing recently, right?
Yeah.
There's a bit of an uproar about it.
Yeah, because I don't respect to Moog, most important company in our industry, fantastic engineer, what a brand, I'd love to be. Even a flipping minnow. We're not even a small fish. We're not even a fish yet, let alone we're not even swimming in the pond. We're just like some sort of mucus surrounding it. But Moog, you look at their image, their manufacturing was like, oh yeah, we're good American Joes with dungarees, manufacturing in good old Asheville, upstate. And it's like, fine, but that can't work in making high-tech products in the 21st century, and unsurprisingly, it didn't, did it? And they got bought out for whatever money. They sacked half the workforce and they moved it. And we're just a sort of shed operation, but we're trying to behave like the best manufacturers behave. So we adopt the Toyota production system. We embed the philosophies of lean manufacturing. We learn a lot from our suppliers and the people that we work with. And, I guess that's it. That's the distinction. Like there's a bunch of guys in lab coats in a clean environment. It might be a small environment, but we're not scratching around. And you have to be. If you want to make something like this reliable, you've got to pin down every single process. So it's a serious undertaking, but that's our pathetically small lab. This slide might be of interest. You've been here for nearly 2 hours. I wouldn't be surprised if your eyes are glazing over. Anyone heard of cut and paste? Well, this is how I design instruments. I literally cut and paste them on a whiteboard with I stick bits of magnetic material on, and then I throw the bits around so I can move stuff around basically to design instruments. So this will be a previous instrument with a bit of imagery that I've just cut out, and I was visualizing making a keytar. Anyone ever played a keytar? They're the coolest things ever. You play a keytar, just like immediate cool, like totally, you got loads of cred. Hence the little guitar strap attachment on the right. Yeah, man. I've always wanted to make a keytar, but everyone tells me if we do that, we're going to go out of business.
Japanese jazz fusion heads will be loving that.
Yeah.
All over it.
Oh, man, I just love keytars. I used to play a keytar in my band. We weren't very successful.
Probably is the next mission. Probably is the next mission.
Well, I think so, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go off on a totally self-absorbed ego trip and make an ultimate keytar. But I won't have some pissy little neck like this. It'll be like double-necked. Double neck with a dual manual keyboard and giant whammy bar. Yeah, sequin catsuit. A good old cut and paste for product ideation and front panel layout. Only a graphic designer and brand guy would use the word ideation in a sentence, but it's actually not a bad idea, not a bad word. So yeah, probably something you recognize more. Doesn't that look pretty? Don't blueprints look really pretty? Or is it just me? I always think blueprints look absolutely lovely. I kind of want that on my wall, made really nicely. But look, it takes flipping ages to design something like this and to get it right. And it takes an artistic and a graphic eye as well as an engineering eye to get it right. But yeah, and you can see this doing some like 3D modeling and rendering. This is all done in rendering, making some little videos. That I believe is rendering as well. It might be a photo. This like graphic work my brother does. Some miscellaneous functions. But yeah, ever use MATLAB? Yeah, Simulink. Ever read a control flow diagram? Yeah. These diagrams crop up all sorts of places. It kind of looks like an electric circuit, but actually it's a way of visualizing a mathematics circuit. Very good for... Anyone read any books on DSP? Anyone done any plugin development or DSP work or anything like that? No?
What I'm kind of looking at now is a Bayesian board, like very
Yeah.
basic. I think it uses like C
Yeah.
language.
You'll see a lot of little drawings like that for algorithms, like filters and this kind of stuff. Yeah, so use MATLAB and Simulink. Really like the environment. We pioneered, we didn't pioneer anything, make like 80s style synthesizers, but we deployed automatic code generation, didn't we, at our last employer.
It's very important. The way of working is almost as important as the product itself.
Yeah,
So
maybe more.
Yeah, because that carries forward to future products.
Absolutely.
So you get the process of product development right.
Yeah. And then you reap the benefits many times over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about it like the medium. Yeah. Think about it like an artistic medium. Like the process that you develop is like understanding how to work with marble sculpting, or how to work with oils, or learning your instrument. Our instrument is learning these techniques or processes. Anyone know what an FPGA is? Anyone know what FPGA is? So, I don't think I'm going to open that kettle of worms. Anyway, basically it's a chip, it's a microchip, right? It's a flexible digital circuit. If you're going to design a graphics card, or you're going to design a PC or something, or a processor, an Apple M2 chip, you're first going to prototype it on an FPGA. And so it allows us to build the high frequency, high sample rate audio technology in our instruments. And FPGAs are going to be increasingly the technology behind sophisticated audio processing. They're starting to creep through. There are a few people using them for DSP effects, that kind of thing. But you're going to see FPGA power banded around a bit more in music technology, like for effects or FPGA hardware acceleration. You all use DAWs. You learn how to use DAWs. I had a bit of a hissy fit when I came here because of latency and things like that. And it's like it was cracking up because the buffers are too small to get the latency all right. And the audio was like, I can't work under these conditions. Well, anyway, FPGAs, massive data throughput, huge amounts of processing power. For example, they're used often to hardware accelerate things. So if you've got like a super high-end audio interface that's like got very high channel counts, that kind of thing, it's using a high-speed bus, chances are behind it, it's an FPGA. That's some code. There you go. I have no idea what it is. He's just copied some JavaScript or whatever it is. Has anyone ever tried this thing called Hacker Typer? Anyone got a Hacker Typer? Have you tried it? Brilliant. I used to do it when I was in a job. Like, you just want to look like you're doing something in your coding. So basically, you just hit buttons on the keyboard and it just spews out reams of code on the screen. It's brilliant. I kind of want to show it to you on here. Anyway, it looks like the output from Hacker Typer. Okay, of course, this website development. So obviously, that's done with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Not my genre. This is pretty. Aren't these things pretty? That's one of them. Anything mechanical is difficult and always breaks, doesn't work. Quite beautiful, starting with hand drawings. I'm a big fan of like hand drawing and stuff as a process. There's some printouts of the thing. Oversight of mechanical process and close relationship with manufacturing partners. So we work with industrial designers to make the things. And I like looking at these drawings. And there's me. A robust, diligent approach to final construction and shipping from the Bristol lab. That's really, really important because if you're not robust in your approach, nothing works. But the same principles apply to any kind of creation. Let's say you're finishing up and working on some mastering of some tracks. Let's say you're gonna distribute something 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 times or whatever. It's very important to make sure you get your procedures and your processes right, and you do things kind of carefully and diligently. And we work really hard to make sure our instruments are the highest quality.